I just love your thoughts on the current state of how VC funding for Web3 gaming teams, the impacts of that on token economies. I mean, one of my soapboxes, and I haven't had to raise personally from VC funds in Web3 before, so I just love your perspective on this for good or bad. I see like a real tough tension between the VCs raising based on in-game tokens and the negative impact on that token to how it can exist in the game economy. I've used the word predatory before. That's maybe like too aggressive of language, but at the least, it seems like a tension. It's two entities with very different goals for how they perceive the token and the function of that token to them. You have the player, which, as you said before, and I agree, like it's fully got to be, I'm exchanging this token for fun. And for a VC firm, like that's obviously like a pure financial play. So what are your thoughts on the current state of VC fundraising for Web3 gaming? Is it a healthy model? How does it need to evolve?
Yeah, so first off, I want to make one quick correction. It's small, but I think meaningful. I didn't say fun. I said happiness, right? And so I think this is the difference where I'm really trying to say ownership of HXD is going to provide happiness. And that can be reading something, unlocking something in the game, playing a different thing, buying something on the marketplace. But it can also be taking that out and taking my wife to dinner or my family on a vacation, sure, right? Or certain things like that. And so I think happiness is really the thing there that can be derived in a number of different ways. Going back to your question, we've raised about $4 million to date. Of that, we raised money from Solana Foundation, a very small amount. We raised money from, I think, Magic Ventures, a very small amount, which is Magic Eden's fund, and Big Brain Holdings, which would be, a massive player in the Solana ecosystem. And again, a relatively small amount. The rest of that $4 million has come from private funding because we have had exactly what you said, such a mismatch of alignment and why they want to be involved in the project that it just wasn't worth taking the money ever. When they want to shrink vesting schedules, it's a red flag to me that says, then you tell me you're never going to sell my token and you're not going to dump, then why do you care about the vesting schedule, right? And so, we just really identified a lot of those red flags. And I think it's one of the things that makes it difficult to gain traction early on, but I think ultimately allows us to, the traction that we do gain is built on far more solid footing, is that we've been focused on building great product and letting the product create hype instead of building a lot of hype, that the hype, ultimately we got to figure out what the product's going to be. And so we've never been desperate to get a VC to participate or give us money at the sacrifice of what would be the right thing for the project. And so we've been very, very driven based on what we think the right thing to do is. But yeah, you're exactly right that a lot of VCs getting into gaming push people into things that are very selfishly motivated. It goes back to the extraction versus participation, right? They want to extract, not participate. And we just want to find people who want to participate, not extract.
Yeah, I wonder if part of that is too with just the pedigree of your team. You guys have access to more options in funding, perhaps. So it's like all of these Web3 game developers, you can still just raise funds as a business through traditional means. But some of them aren't. Yourself, Justin, I don't know the other team members as well, but you guys have had successful business outcomes and probably deep networks in the TradFi world too. So it probably opens up some of these more boomerish but sustainable funding mechanisms that can make it so you don't have to make those potentially high-risk game design decisions of using that tension between the token and the VC function versus the gamer function.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And, we're fortunate that each of my founders has had exits. So we weren't motivated to immediately come in and have to start paying ourselves and extracting from the project. And so, yeah, all that has had long-term thinking, which I think is incredibly valuable for us in this project for sure.